1 out of 5 women in this country today will experience rape. And we live in a culture that in many ways permits that kind of statistic to be true. We all remember how that kind of looking away from sexual violence took place in a very visible way in our country during the debate around the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. And I want to share that what I saw was both the incredible sadness of women who were doing something tremendously courageous by sharing their stories of sexual assault in an effort to educate the country about the reality, the culture that enabled sexual violence in the first place, the pain of that violence, the legacy of that violence in our bodies for decades and decades. So I saw the pain, but I also saw the courage. What I saw was women doing something tremendously powerful, telling their stories in an effort to show up for each other, in an effort to demonstrate solidarity, walking past their pain and past their fear and past their shame to do something courageous, which was to contribute to building a mirror where all of us could look at each other and realize that this culture is real, but also that we had a tremendous opportunity to change this culture, and that the people in power in our country had a tremendous opportunity to signal to all of us that they would not reaffirm a culture that enabled sexual violence in the first place. The people in power failed, but women who told their stories did not fail. So when I came out of that fight, I drew 2 lessons from it. One is courage. Courage is contagious. It is necessary. When we see someone doing something courageous, we feel so awed by them and so invited by them to join them, and then we join them and we realize we too can be courageous and we can share it with others, and it is a thing that builds community and builds power, and it's profoundly beautiful and transformative. All of us can do it. And the other thing that I was reminded of is that all of us have this drive towards freedom. All of us have this drive towards freedom. And I remembered coming out of that fight, why I told my story. I told my story in front of Senator Flake's office a few days before the elevator encounter. And I said, I was 5, he was 15, and when I was 5, I learned the lesson that we are not believed. And I learned the lesson, a rule of our culture, which is that boys will be boys and they will be forgiven. But I have a child, I have 2 children now, one is 6, one is 3, and I do not want them to learn that lesson. I do not want them to learn that lesson.